Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th annual Flat Track Fever hosted by the Chinook City Roller Derby. We're going to get started with our game right away here. Visiting team is the evrd Roller Derby's Living Dead. Home team is the Nuclear Free Roller Derby. But before we get into that, we should introduce ourselves. My name's Fat Boy, and I'm standing alongside here, more specifically sitting alongside with...
Big Ugly Jim. How's everyone doing? I'm going to pretend like you guys heard what I said. Either way, welcome to fantastic, gorgeous Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all those who either have mothers or are mothers, and to those of you that never had a mother, sorry. First, I'm going to run through our sponsors. A huge thank you to Buffalo Wild Wings. Make sure to pop by there. We've got an all-ages sports bar. It's a block west and 1 block south on McLeod Trail. If you mention Team D to help, they'll help support Junior Roller Derby. Also, a big thank you to Peterson Contracting for sponsoring our beer garden. Peterson Contracting is a multi-trade company. See them for all your electrical, plumbing, gas, and HVAC needs. Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Peterson Contracting. Nerd Roller Skates set up over in the corner there. They're fantastic. They're your specialists for all things roller skate and roller derby. Skate fittings, wheels, hardware, protective gear, and more. Open 6 days a week in Calgary and online at nerdskates.com for people who roll. And of course, Rydell Skates, a huge supporter of roller derby in Calgary and elsewhere. Experience unmatched stability and response in a simplified, revolutionary design, the Powerdyne Arius Platinum, performance redefined. And Girls on Track Foundation. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? Girls on Track wants to change that stat. Learn more about expanding your access to roller derby for girls and their teens at girlsontrackfoundation.org. And for those of you in attendance, make sure you check out our vendors. We've got Chantel Labors with the leggings, Mount Royal University providing massages, Young Living, the essential oils and blends, Origami Owl custom jewelry, Creative Vitality for a deeper understanding of your unique body system, and of course, the Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby.
And of course, now let's get into some introductions. So the visiting team for this game is going to be the evrd Roller Derby's Living Dead. They are going to be wearing the white jerseys for tonight's game. And starting at 009, Stella R. Sniper. 101, Wonky Kong. 13, Killa Lola. 31, Lurch. 41, Magic Wanda. 61, Spitney. 64, Attica Flinch. 69, Charlie Horse. 82, Rocky Balboa. 94, Lemon. And 96, Little Swift.
And our home team for this game is going to be Nuclear Free Roller Derby, the Boom. They will be dressed in blue. We're going to start with number 024, Jode Rage. Number 08, Lady Macdeath. Number 17, Troublegum. Number 1111, Gypsy Joe. Number 20, Fish. Number 22, Schmidt Disturb Her. Number 28, Marauder. Number 33, Argentina. Number 4321, Malady. Number 550, Watson. Number 65, Ramala Anderson. Number 79, Cath Me Outside. How about that? Number 8, Dame Tamer. Number 82, Babe Ruthless. And number 84, Cherry Von Villain.
And with that, I think we can get started with this fantastic looking game we're going to have, as it's the Living Dead going up against the nuclear-free Boom.
And this is, of course, the battle between third and fourth place for the tournament.
Yes, that it is. This game is going to be a fantastic one. Both teams have done a very good job this weekend at making sure that they manage all they need to manage, trying to keep the penalties down, trying to rack some scores up, trying to get that strategy figured out as they go.
And, of course, that's always a moving target as the game changes while they're playing.
Now lined up for the Living Dead, we're going to have Lemon going up against Gypsy Joe, who's going to take some space to the inside, grab that lead jam. Lemon struggling up against that blue wall there.
Lots of solid defense happening in the pack.
Gypsy Joe working through her scoring pass now and gets to the middle of that second corner, but she's getting held up by a pair of white blockers. And she's going to be able to get past him. That's going to grab her 5 points for her first scoring pass of the game.
And it looks like Lemon is also through the back on her initial, pardon me, there was a star pass there to Charlie Horse.
It was, so Charlie Horse had just enough time to put that star on before Gypsy Joe managed to get through the pack once more, grabbing 4 more points.
And so that's why they don't call me pretty intelligent, Jim.
Yeah, let's go with that. So with that, the nuclear-free Boom are going to be sitting at 9 to start the game off. Living Dead remain at 0.
And we've got lining up for the nuclear-free Boom. It is Dame Tamer taking on Lil Swifty.
Dame Tamer finds that inside line. But we do have a penalty now being issued to one of the nuclear-free Booms. Looks like number 65, Ramala Anderson. And now a penalty being issued to the jammer, Little Swift of the Living Dead. So that's going to allow a power jam now for nuclear-free Boom.
And that's 5 points there, picked up by Dame Tamer.
Nuclear-free Boom a little short-handed there on the blockers as they set up for a 2-person offense. Dame Tamer is going to bounce off of 101 Wonky Kong as she's able to grab 5 points. Again, that nuclear-free Boom starts with 2. Now they've got 3 blockers on the track as they try and get some offense set up. And Dame Tamer is going to find a way through to grab another 4 points.
And if that pass taught us anything, it's why they're called the Boom. Lots of really good, solid hitting there.
You betcha, there was some fantastic hitting as they've come away now. Nuclear-free Boom grabs 14 points on that one. That's going to bring them to 23. Living Dead still remain at 0, 27 minutes and about 10 seconds remaining after 2 jams in this game.
You know, 27 minutes left, difference of 23 points. It could go either way.
It very well could. Who do we got lining up now, Big Ugly Jim?
We've got number 9, Stella R. Sniper, lining up in white for the Evil Dead, taking on Marauder in blue. Looks like Stella Sniper gets through and picks up lead jam.
Marauder jamming for the nuclear-free Boom, having a tough time trying to break through, but she's going to find a seam. Chased down by the pivot, but she's still able to get through for the initial pass. Stella R. Sniper is able to get through for her scoring, taking on 4 points before she calls that one down.
Nuclear-free Boom getting on the board now, chipping away a little bit at that lead.
Lining up now, Gypsy Joe for the Boom. Going to take on number 69, Charlie Horse.
Both packs doing fantastic blocking. This is, it's great to see.
Gypsy Joe able to grab that lead jam as she bounced around a couple of those white blockers in that first corner. And she runs right into number 6'4", Attica Finch. She's going to be able to take that hit in stride as she continues on to grab 5 points, lapping Charlie Horse, still stuck in that pack. It looks like Charlie Horse now being issued a blocking with the head penalty, so that's going to allow a power start as that jam was called off for the Nuclear Free Boom, who still grabbed 5 points on that one. 7 points, correction.
Yeah, Dame Tamer lining up, of course, as mentioned, a nice power start.
A real good advantage now. Dame Tamer can try and continue to pull this lead ahead as they sit at 32, Living Dead 4.
But it looks to me like they're not really interested in letting her just sneak through. But Dame Tamer punches a hole through the pack, picks up lead jam, so that's going to make this a power jam.
Looks like we had a high block issue to Wonky Kong, so the Living Dead now short not only their jammer, but they are going to be down a blocker as well. As Lemon falls to the ground and over top, Dame Tamer falls with her. Dame Tamer knocked to the inside there by 94 Lemon. As the penalty box is almost cleared out, everybody's starting to get back to the track now. Charlie Horse is back on the track, however, not able to grab any points to that one. Dame Tamer able to grab another 3 when that one was called off.
And Lil Swifty lining up this time for Evil Dead. Sorry, pardon me, Evil Living Dead. I get old and confused. And they'll be taking on Marauder.
Little Swift getting knocked around like a pinball in there. As a couple of the Living Dead go tumbling over. Somewhere in that confusion, the Living Dead pivot was issued a penalty, so they're going to lose that. However, both jammers out. Little Swift behind Marauder right now currently has lead jam, so she calls that one off.
Just a reminder to everyone, there is delicious beer available in the Peterson Contracting Beer Garden. I don't know if you guys have ever tried beer before, but it's actually quite refreshing on a hot day.
I've been told it's kind of hydrating for people watching high-intensity sports like roller derby.
And you know, it's a social aid, it's all kinds of good. So you can find yours in the beer garden.
And of course, if you're looking for something else, let's say as we spoke Mother's Day, you're a little behind the 8 ball and you're still looking for something to get Mom. I hear that Origami Owl Custom Jewelry has some fantastic stuff here. They are helping you tell a story through jewelry, so make sure you check them out over in the Vendors Village.
They have some fantastic stuff over there, I have to say. I personally would get Mom beer.
I think that's probably a good choice too.
Yeah. You know, she's my mom. She needs to numb the pain. All right, we've got Gypsy Joe taking the line for the Nuclear Free Boom. Taking on...
I do believe that's 009 Stella R. Sniper.
It is indeed. Your eyes are better than mine.
I'm still young. Gypsy Joe is going to be able to get out first and take that lead jam as there's bodies falling all over the floor. Stella R. Sniper forced to reset from an inside hit, so she's going to try and find a seam past one of those blue blockers, and she's going to get through completing the initial. Gypsy Joe tries to find a space again, but she's knocked outside, so she calls that one off. She is able to grab 3 more points, but she's going to hold Stella scoreless on that one, so the Nuclear Free now pulling away to 38. Living Dead remaining at 4, 21 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
And Lil Swifty taking on Dame Tamer.
Little Swift is looking for a spot right off the get-go on the inside, and she's going to find it, but it's at the result of a forearm penalty. So that is going to allow Dame Tamer of the Nuclear Free Boom that power jam.
Dame Tamer pushing hard against that wall, makes her way through, picking up 5 points for Nuclear Free Boom.
Unfortunately for the Living Dead, they seem to be dropping like flies to that penalty box right now. There are only 2 players left on the track. As the Boom sets up and holds back for a no-pack call, Dame Tamer's going to get through for an easy 5.
You know, I've never seen a fly drop.
You know, I'm not sure if I have either.
I don't know, man. That just popped into my head.
The things you think about. Dame Tamer able to grab another 4 points, but Little Swift back on the track now, able to complete the initial pass. However, number 3 in blue, that's going to be Argentina, is going to have to take a seat now in the penalty box as well.
We're just over 20 minutes left in the first half. Nuclear Free Boom has a commanding lead, 53-4. However, this is roller derby, and anything can happen almost instantaneously. We've seen, just in games that I've seen this weekend, we've seen a 30-point jam.
We've seen a few of them this weekend. It's been a really great weekend at watching some of these players go, as Charlie Horse now jamming for Living Dead and Marauder for the Boom. Marauder forced out, going to have to reset, a no-pack called, so there's going to be a failure to reform. On 1, maybe 2, I'm not sure. Either way, Charlie Horse is able to take lead jam. Marauder now busting out of that pack. Charlie Horse went for an attempted apex jump, but kind of landed right into the side of Schmidt Disturber, forcing her to the inside. So she calls that one off on the landing.
And it looks like Gypsy Joe jamming for the Nuclear Free Boom, taking on Stella R. Sniper for the Living Dead.
Both teams going to start a little short here as that penalty box is sitting. Stella's going to take a little bit of a stutter step approach here, try and go slowly. She avoids that cut track as she's tried to get dragged back by 4-3-2-1 Malady. And Gypsy Joe is able to find some space and get out and head front for that lead jammer.
Both jammers dealing with just fabulous blocking again. We're seeing a lot of that this game. It's always nice to see the jammers have to get a little frustrated.
Gypsy Joe gets through and grabs another 4 points, but in the process, somebody on the Living Dead was issued a back block penalty, so that means they did clear that penalty box out. Looks like they were going to go full strength, but they lost one very quickly. So Dame Tamer now in blue for the Boom, going up against Little Swift in white for the Living Dead.
Both teams employing that triangle block pattern. Extremely effective, very difficult to get through. But, you know, having said that,
that was a really close one, too, as both those jammers kind of popped out at the same time. However, Little Swift did get the lead jammer, so she calls that one off before either one of them can get ahead and grab any points.
Marauder in blue and taking on Charlie Horse in white. I've had a Charlie Horse a time or two in my life. It's not awesome, but Charlie Horse is an awesome jammer.
Oh, she's fantastic. She is excellent. We've been watching her all weekend. She's done really good. And it looks like we have a quick penalty now being issued to Marauder. So Charlie Horse is going to have a chance to show us how splendid she is as she gets that power jam opportunity.
And picking up lead jam, which officially makes this the Power Jam.
Charlie Horse signaling to her team, starting to get something set up as she comes in and gets stuck against this blue wall, trying to work around Schmidt Disturber and Lady Macbeth. She is going to be able to get past them, grabs those 5 points as she continues around the track. Marauder has been released from the penalty box. She is now on the track, and she does a star pass to Lady Macbeth. But it looks like there's a penalty issued. Lady Macbeth is now in the penalty box. And Marauder now has the star back on her head, and it looks like we have a penalty issued to Charlie Horse, by the looks of it, for cutting the track. There was
a lot of things happened there.
There was a lot happening in a very short amount of time. So
and finding a path around the outside. That, of course, is Lady Macbeth.
So this time it looks like the star pass was effective and proper. That jam started off fairly easy to follow and got very complicated and confusing in about the last 40 seconds there.
I have to agree. I'm not a very smart man. I'm real good at knowing what's happening when everything goes by the book. But this time I was like, things.
Yeah, things happened. And those things resulted in the Living Dead being able to grab 9 points. So that's going to bring them to 13 now. As the Nuclear Free Booms sit at 60, they were able to grab 3 more there. And we have a official timeout. And it looks like we have 14 minutes, 21 seconds left on our score clock. After 12 jams, it's been a really good game so far.
It has been. I don't think the score is reflective of how really evenly matched this is. There's some fantastic gamesmanship on both sides. The whole tournament has been incredible, but this, you can tell we're in that semifinal bout. This is really, really top shelf material happening.
And what I've really enjoyed watching this weekend is there has been a lot of really good blocking. Not
Absolutely.
just, bodies in the way, but really trying to trap that jammer and those tripods, really getting that solid hold there and and they're doing a very good job too at avoiding some of those penalties you see, like the multiplayers or the low block. They've been doing a very good job at that.
I have to say, I've been calling roller derby games for a really long time because I'm very old. And the way that the game has evolved, especially I pick it up a lot with regards to the blocking and how it's gone from being, okay, just hit somebody, to this much more methodical, thought out, the triangle blocking and teams working as a unit to try and really just take the jammer out of the equation as much as possible. It's really interesting to watch this game evolve.
It is, and part of that I wonder too if that's not from some of these upgrades in the equipment, such as Riddell skates, who now have world-class edging with their radar halos, available in a full range of hardness from 84A all the way up to 101A. There is a halo for everyone.
And we're back into the action. Gypsy Joe jamming for the blue and taking on Stella, our sniper, in white. Gypsy Joe does have the lead jam.
And Stella is able in that second corner to find some breakaway space and complete her initial, as Gypsy Joe makes it through for the scoring pass and grabs 4 points.
Did we mention beer?
I can't remember.
I'm really fixated on beer. I would love to have a beer right now, but I can't.
Not yet.
Not
but
yet.
If you did, you can head over to the Peterson Contracting Beer Garden and go wet your whistle, as they say.
Let me live vicariously through all of you as you drink the beer.
And other people not drinking beer right now, you have Lady Macbeth jamming for Nuclear Free Boom, who's going to get out in front. Looks like she's going to get chased down, though, as well. You've got jamming for Little Swift for the Living Dead. And the whistles are going off. That one's going to get called.
So after I was finished here yesterday, I had to go to work and bartend at night, and it was a jungle music show, and someone in the room just kept whistling, and it was like I'd never left.
The whistle just makes you feel at home when you're a Derby fan.
It made me feel something. Stella our sniper taking the line against Marauder. Marauder in blue, Stella in white.
A little bit of a pile up there in that second corner. Stella our sniper is going to get out in front for the lead jam and call that one off before Marauder can chase her down and get ahead for some points. You know, that's something else we've seen a fair bit this weekend too, is the jammers really just trying to hold the score where it is. If they can't get the points, if they know they're behind, call it off. Don't let that other team try and rack that up anymore.
Absolutely. Another example of you know, the way the game has changed and the way that the thinking about scoring is completely evolving over time.
Gypsy Joe now going to go jamming for the boom. Going to go up against Little Swift again. Gypsy Joe was knocked out and dragged back by Lemon. So she's now getting stuck at that pivot line in that giant white wall, swallowing her up and knocking Gypsy to the inside. And officially now the lead jammer, that's going to be Little Swift. We did have a penalty issued to the boom, so they are going to be short one of their blockers as Gypsy Joe has now completed their initial pass. That pack picking up a little bit of speed here as Little Swift tries to get a couple points as she calls it off. 2 is going to be grabbed by Little Swift and holding Nuclear Free scoreless on that one. So with 11 minutes left, 66 Nuclear Free boom, 17 for the Living Dead after 16 jams.
And we've got Lady Macbeth taking the jam line for the Nuclear Free boom. Taking on Stella our sniper for the Living Dead.
The boom are short, still one of their blockers, as it isn't going to make much of a difference. Lady Macbeth shoots out in front for that lead jammer. And I can hear some whistles and shouting. It sounds like someone else has been issued a penalty. That looks like Watson of the boom going to go sit down.
And Gypsy Joe calls off the jam, grabbing 4 points.
You might want to check your eyesight there, Big Ugly Jim. That was Lady Macbeth.
Oh, gee, I'm really good at stuff. That was Lady Macbeth. This is why it's an unpaid position.
Next year, we'll see if we can't get a eyeglasses place to come in and sponsor.
I don't think they make them good enough to make me pay attention. I apologize for that. That was entirely Fat Boy's fault and not mine at all.
Yes, I will take the blame on that one. Little Swift now going up against Marauder. Little Swift knocked to the ground there as trying to get some assistance from Charlie Horse. Marauder is going to get out first, though, just on that inside for lead jammer. Marauder stuck to the outside now, is getting pushed out by number 4-1, Magic Wanda. However, they are going to find some room and get through for the pass. However, they did not have the star on their head. So with the whistles blowing on that one, that's going to leave the Living Dead with 0 on that jam and 4 for the Nuclear Free boom. So they're now at 74, Living Dead at 17.
Nuclear Free is doing a really good job of controlling the point scoring, and even when there's a lead jam by Living Dead, a lot of the time their jammer's right on their heels, and it's time to call off the jam.
They're really doing good at chasing the jammer down and calling and forcing that call off. We're going to see what happens now as Gypsy Joe takes lead jam and gets out front. Of course, Living Dead now chasing down Nuclear Free as Stella our sniper is right on the heels of Gypsy Joe.
That time it really was Gypsy Joe.
Yes, that time it was.
That means I'm batting like 500, right?
See, I don't know baseball talk, so I'm going to assume that's okay.
That's actually pretty good. If I was in baseball right now, we'd be huge.
Oh, well, let's go with it.
Number 08, Lady Macbeth, taking on 96, Lil Swifty.
All the blockers starting right on that jammer line. Not going to give a whole lot of room for those jammers to start off with. Little Swift gets a little bit ahead, but gets held up, and while that happens, Lady Macbeth finds the room she needs to get ahead and grab lead jam.
And a huge hit there. Lil Swift brushes it off and makes it through the pack.
Schmidt Disturber trying to chase her down.
And a back block being called against Lady Macbeth. That's going to give Evil Living Dead a power jam.
Little Swifty, just like that, able to get ahead and grab those 5 points. Little Swift, sorry, not Swifty. Little Swift gets those 5 points. I'm going to apologize a second time. It is Little Swifty.
Who just picked up 5 points, so clearly she didn't hold it against you. And of course, this is a much needed opportunity for the Living Dead.
And just like that, a couple of calls issued, one being a direction, I'm not sure what the other is, but the nuclear free boom are going to go down 2 blockers.
And 4 points picked up there by Lil Swifty. Of course, the missing point was a no pass, no point.
Little Swift going to use Attica Flinch as a little bit of a slingshot there, able to grab another 5 points.
I think I said something earlier about high-scoring jams and how anything could happen, and it was just too early to call.
You betcha, and just like that, Little Swifty's able to grab another 5. That's going to bring 24 points on that jam. That is a massive jam.
Huge jam for the Living Dead. It definitely, I think, something that was needed to sort of rekindle that fire.
You betcha, and that you know, the momentum now that they might have behind him should help excel them ahead. And now, as the Living Dead is at 41 and the nuclear free boom is 76 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left now. But the boom is going to call a timeout and try and regather, strategize, put a plan in place. What else do you do in a team timeout?
Absolutely. Me, I'm halfway tempted to sneak over to the Chantal Abor's table and pick up some unique leggings for myself. I think that, you know, they're very flattering.
If I recall, last year you were talking about picking up a pair as well.
I figure, you know, why not? They seem comfortable, and you know, there's a million patterns over there for every possible occasion.
They've got some camel ones in case you're a hunter. You go blend right into the bush.
And that's, I think, what every hunter, if you know, this Mother's Day, if your mother is a hunter, time to pick up some camel leggings from Chantal Abor's.
And a case of beer from the Peterson Contracting Beer Garden.
Absolutely. Mom's getting spoiled this year with leggings and beer. And also, maybe Mom likes to head over to the Nerd Roller Skates table and pick up some Rydell skates.
Yeah, you betcha. They got all kinds of stuff. And the nice thing is with Nerd, they're open 6 days a week in Calgary, and they're also always open online at nerdskates.com.
You know, Mom's getting really spoiled this year.
Beer, leggings, and roller skates. What a Mother's Day to be remembered. Of course, back on the track now, we're going to have Stella, our sniper, going up against Marauder. Stella, a couple steps ahead, but she's getting held up there against that blue wall as the pack is starting to spread thin. And
Stella, our sniper, picks up the lead jam.
Marauder out of that pack now, too, going to try and chase down Stella. Stella's going to be short a blocker now, as that is Rocky Balboa with the pivot stripe headed towards the penalty box.
And Stella, our sniper, takes a bit of a spill, but picks up 2 points. Both teams grabbing 2 points that last lap.
And at the whistles there was a couple penalties assessed. There was a failure to reform an illegal position penalty for, I do believe it was the boom, and the Living Dead was issued a penalty as well at the end there.
I always felt like failure to reform was kind of a description of my childhood. So we've got jamming for the Living Dead, Lemon, taking on Gypsy Joe for the nuclear-free boom.
Gypsy Joe getting hung up by Charlie Horse and Magic Wanda with enough time for the Living Dead's jammer to get out in front, Lemon, but of course Gypsy Joe's going to chase them down. So Lemon's going to go in there fast, start putting their hands on their hips as soon as they get through, grabs 2 points and calls it off. That's going to keep Gypsy Joe from getting in there and grabbing any. Oh, correction, 3 points now scored to the Living Dead.
And in classic style, just instant before the whistle blew there, fantastic hit by Schmidt Disturber on Lemon.
Schmidt Disturber, I've been watching her all weekend. She knows how to get in the right spot for that right hit at that right time.
Absolutely. It's something to be seen, that's for sure.
Little Swifty again jamming for the Living Dead, able to get out in front. Maybe this will be an opportunity for her to try and rack up some more points here. As Dame Tamer has been able to get out and complete their initial pass. Little Swifty going to get into the middle of that pack, grab another 3 points and call it off. So that's going to bring the Living Dead now to 49. Nuclear Free being held tight to 77 for the last few jams.
Yeah, it seems like the Living Dead have that power jam changed the course of their game, and now they're doing a great job of picking those points and calling it off. 2.5 minutes left in the half. Let's see what the next couple minutes hold.
And it's really amazing to watch how you get that one big jam as we spoke of, and that really changes it. And now they've gone from that big jam to 2 points, 3 points, 3 points, and slowly they chip away at that lead.
Exactly. It's it's one of those, Rome wasn't built in a day. It took a lot of roller derby action for that lead to get established, and it's going to take a lot of work to get it off. But those little hit it and quit it jams, just exactly that. They chip away at that lead.
And of course, somebody we really want to thank today is the Girls on Track Foundation. Did you know that by 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys?
I did not know that. Tell me more.
You know what a terrible statistic that is, but what's fantastic is the Girls on Track Foundation is trying to change that. You can learn more about expanding access to roller derby by going to the girlsontrackfoundation.org.
And looks like Marauder is going to start off with a power start. Oh, I'm wrong, or I'm right. I'm one of those two.
Yes, the Living Dead jammer is in the penalty box. So that's going to give the boom the opportunity for a power start. And penalty issued to the pivot, 94 Lemon for the Living Dead. That's going to force them to the 30-second area of thinking about what you did. Now Little Swifty back on the track.
Little Swifty punching holes in the blue wall, but still, is now through her initial qualifying pass. But Murata was able to pick up 5 points for the nuclear free boom.
So it looks like we are going to have the Living Dead start with Stella R. Sniper jamming and short their pivot, as Gypsy Joe is going to line up for the boom, their team at full strength.
And looks like we have a timeout called.
I think it's an official timeout.
It is. I can tell because our NSO is flexing in the end of the arena there. If there is a veterinarian in the house, those puppies are sick.
Woo-wee.
Again, thank you to Peterson Contracting for the sponsoring of our beer gardens. Make sure you check them out on facebook.com/Peterson Contracting. They're a multi-trade company. So they're good for electrical, plumbing, gas, HVAC needs. So check them out and drink their beer.
Stella going to try and find some inside space as number 024, Jodrach, falls down. That's going to allow Stella that lead jam as Gypsy Joe now fighting their way through. Is going to be short now as 550. Watson is headed to the penalty box. Stella's going to get out in front, pass that pack, grab those 4 points she so desperately wanted, and then call it off. Chipping away, Living Dead 53, Nuclear Free 81.
And I just had this moment there in that last moment where Gypsy Joe is barreling towards Lurch. Lurch gets a shoulder in, but Gypsy Joe, you know, rolls with it and keeps going. And I thought about it and I was like, I'm way too chicken. I'm not cool enough to do this.
Yeah, it takes more guts than I got, I'll say that much, as Little Swift now is rolling over top of Schmidt Disturber, and Dame Tamer fighting on the inside, getting blocked out. But it looks like Dame Tamer is going to get out ahead, but not given lead jam as Little Swift is, who calls that off before Dame Tamer can get up to the pack and grab any points. So that last jam of the first half is going to end scoreless as we head into the intermission. Nuclear Free Boom leading the way with 81, Living Dead 53.
I wish I could be a fly on the...
Well, I hope you got a little bit of beverage in you, a little bit of liquid.
I got some water.
That's good.
I'm looking over there at our beer garden and going,
Living vicariously.
I am so vicarious. We've had a hell of a first half so far.
We have. It has been a really great first half. There's been a lot of really strategic play, and that's something that we've both enjoyed. We were just talking before we turned the mics on here that it hasn't just been that big hit, big goal. It's been real strategic control.
And you know, it's 81-53, anything but a blowout. This is still a really close game, and both teams have just showed up.
They have, and we spoke earlier about how Nuclear Free was doing such a really good job at holding the jammer for the Living Dead. And then we kind of saw that turn near the end of that, where the Living Dead almost seemed to figure it out, how to hold the jammer of the Nuclear Free. And they were able to come back quite a few points and start really mounting that that charge.
Absolutely. That power jam, I think, was really huge for the Living Dead, and allowed them, I think, to get their skates under them a little bit. And you're seeing the intelligent gameplay coming from both sides. This is really a fun game to watch.
It is, and you know, you spoke to it before we went for the half about, you know, wanting to hear what the strategy talk was going to be in the dressing rooms as these two teams went back to kind of hash it out. I'm curious to see what changes, or if there's any real big changes, or if they kind of follow that same plan they've initiated.
Yeah, that's always, I think I like the second half of games better than the first, because in the first you sort of set the stage, and in the second you see where those little tweaks came. It's fantastic to watch. I think we're about to get started.
You bet we are. So Lemon jamming for the first one on this second half, going to go up against Marauder. Lemon almost taken out to the outside of the track there by the pivot, who's a little twisted up in her own feet. Schmidt Disturber trying to get back under. Looks like Lurch is going to go ahead to the penalty box.
And Marauder picks up lead jam. But hot on the heels, 94. That'd be Lil Swifty.
94? That's Lemon.
90. Oh, so, I'm good. I totally, yeah. So there we are.
You got the numbers, so you are batting 500. You at least got the number right.
It's true. I got one of those numbers for sure.
Other numbers we should talk about, the nuclear free boom able to grab 3 points on that one. Now you can get this one right.
Now, number 96, Lil Swifty, jamming for the Living Dead. Taking on 1111 Gypsy Joe for the nuclear free boom. It's funny, they have so many skill tests involved in being part of the WFTDA, except for, announcers. I can't even read.
And while we're busy trying to learn how to read numbers and letters, Gypsy Joe is able to get a lead jammer and hit that pack again fast as they work to try and get through for a scoring pass. Blocked up and held at that second corner, able to grab 2 points when they call that off as Little Swifty starts heading towards. So I wonder if that's going to be the change we see now, where Nuclear Free is going to start just trying to grab those ones or twos.
And I think that they very strongly started that way with the hit and quit it style, and so it's sort of a return to that for them, I think. We've got Dame Tamer on the line for the Nuclear Free, taking on
Stella, our sniper. It's a teamwork. We're as much a team as the players.
We are. Go team announcers.
And Dame Tamer's going to get out in front and take lead jam as Stella is chased down by the pivot, who goes sliding. That pack grabbing a little bit of speed as they come into the third corner now. Charlie Horse setting up at the front of that corner with another blocker. Lemon, as Dame Tamer is able to get in there, she's throwing her hands up trying to tell the ref how many points.
And I see Dodger balls.
And it's going to be 3 awarded to Dame Tamer on that one. Looks like we are going to start short for the Living Dead, as they have one in the penalty box. So Little Swift is going to be down 1 as Marauder has a full team to her advantage. Marauder looking for that inside as they're getting pushed around there. Little Swift getting run down by Jode Rage. However, Jode Rage ends up road rash on the ground, and Little Swift is able to get through.
And again, we see Edmonton in a point scoring position. Now we'll see what changes are happening. Lil Swift picks up 4 points.
Little Swift finds that inside. There was nobody there. She went right wide open through that.
I literally blinked and missed it. I blinked and I was like, oh, Lil Swift is through the pack.
It was that quick. She was able to grab 5 points, while the Nuclear Free Boom grabbed 3. So at 25 minutes, 50 seconds, Nuclear Free 92, Living Dead at 62.
And we've got Gypsy Joe lined up for the Nuclear Free Boom and Lemon for the Living Dead.
Lemon trying for the inside, kind of pinballs to the outside. Gypsy Joe, I didn't even see where she went through, but she did get that lead jab. Couple of players now sitting in the penalty box for the Nuclear Free Boom. Gypsy Joe goes in fast, runs right into Charlie Horse. That one gets called off as a few bodies kind of crumple. Gypsy Joe is going to grab 3 there as the Living Dead remain scoreless to that jam.
And we've got Stella R. Sniper taking on Dame Tamer.
The Boom still starting short here as 2 blockers inside that penalty box. Dame Tamer getting stuck and pushed around there by Lurch. Stella's going to find some space on the outside and gets that lead jam. As Lurch goes tumbling along with number 4-1 Magic Wanda. And that's going to allow Dame Tamer some space to get by. And looks like a legal contact call issued to number 2-2 Schmidt-Sturber, so that's going to be 30 seconds in the penalty box without the pivot for the boom. As Living Dead able to grab 3, Nuclear Free grabs 2. Nuclear Free still leading 97, Living Dead 65, 23:45 left. 6 jams in the second period.
I wish I had a beer right now.
That's a pretty fair assumption.
Yep.
Where would you get one?
I would probably head on over to the Peterson Contracting Beer Garden.
While we're talking about beer, lots of cheering on the track as they were able to knock Marauder out, jamming for the boom, and dragged them back as Little Swift was able to get past and takes lead jam. That one's going to get called off. However,
it would appear we've got a penalty there.
It does. It looks like it's a power jam now for the Living Dead as Marauder was issued a cut track penalty.
And Nuclear Free calls for a timeout.
This could be a very good opportunity for the Living Dead to try and get some good power jam. We've seen that they know how to do.
Absolutely. This is an opportunity to chip away that lead. Last time we had the power jam, the Living Dead really did a great job of capitalizing.
Somebody in the beer garden's having a good time.
I think, yeah. I'm trying not to say inappropriate things.
Of course. Let's say you're down here right now and you're looking for something to do. I hear Young Living over there with the essential oils and oil blends will take you on a sensory journey.
A journey.
It will enlighten and soothe both your mind and your body.
I have both of those things.
That's incredible.
How can I get them soothed again?
Go over to the Young Living and get some amazing essential oils and oil blends.
That sounds awesome. All right, Charlie Horse with that power jam.
We've seen that strategy used quite a bit this weekend on those power starts where you will have that power start team run the opposite way and call that or force that no pack call, hoping to get the release on that jammer.
Absolutely. It's such a quick way to get that lead jam, especially on a power start like this.
And Charlie Horse was able to use it to her advantage as she did get 5, and she now goes for a apex jump, unsuccessful. Nuclear Free is going to lose one of their blockers to the penalty box. As Charlie Horse is going to get through grabbing 4 more as Marauder is now back on the track, and the two of these are going to start bumping each other in that first corner as Charlie Horse calls it off.
Living Dead able to pick up 9 points altogether on that jam. It wasn't as significant point scoring wise as the last one, but again, it takes away some of that lead and makes them all the stronger in how they're approaching this game.
Oh, exactly. You know, when we went into the half, I believe we were right around a 30-point differential. We've now closed that up. You know, Living Dead at 74 and Nuclear Free at 97. Little Swift now, Little Swifty out there going to see what they can do as they push their way through that white tripod. Gypsy Joe getting stuck up by the white wall, and now Lemon and looks like maybe, I can't find the number, but somebody else on the blue team as well has been issued a penalty, so both teams now short the pivot.
Little Swift shrugging off a heck of a shot there. That was a big hit.
That was Lurch that came in there and sent that blocker flying. Ooh,
That was all kinds of things I don't want to have happen to me.
Again, this is why we sit on this side of the announcer's table.
Absolutely. This is a really good place, you know, if we're bleeders or...
And of course, we're always looking for more announcers, just, you know, to put that out there if you ever want to do it.
Absolutely, and if I've proved anything today, it's that the bar is low. Speaking of bars, after party, King's Head Pub, right after the last game.
And just getting past the pivot line, going into that second corner, Stella, our sniper, is hung up and stopped hard by that blue blocker 22 Schmidt Disturber. That's going to allow the boom to end up with lead jam. That was impressive blocking.
That was absolutely phenomenal.
Wow, I'm still just stunned at that blocking display by Schmidt Disturber. That was absolutely ecstatic. That was incredible. And now we have a power jam for Dame Tamer, as Stella is going to be sitting down in the penalty box for the next 30 seconds.
And Dame Tamer, so far this game, we've seen a lot coming out of well, all of the jammers, but Dame Tamer has definitely stood out for me. So we'll see how this power jam works.
Dame Tamer getting ahead, going to grab those 5 points. However, Lemon wasn't going to let that go easy.
Absolutely. evrd did a great job of chewing up some time on the penalty and really making Dame Tamer work.
It was very, very good job as the Living Dead were able to hold back Dame Tamer for only 1 pass on that power jam, as Little Swift now back on the track grabs 4 points. And it looks like a star pass now. Is that Malady, that has that. And Stella goes down, Dame Tamer goes down, couple bodies go down. And just before the whistle blows, it looks like there's another penalty being issued to Stella.
There was just bodies flying everywhere. I just, you couldn't keep up as the hits just kept on coming.
There was a lot happening right at the end of that jam there. You heard the whistles and you start looking for, you know, what whistles for what, and then there's like 3 things happening.
Absolutely.
And there's only 2 of us.
Yeah. Well, 1.5 really.
Woo-wee.
And looks like we have a team timeout.
Yeah, that timeout's being charged to the Living Dead, now sitting at 82, and the Nuclear Free, with 16 points picked up on that last jam, are able to pass that century mark at 113.
That is, it was a really exciting and complex jam.
And you know, I think that jam went the full 2 minutes as well. I'm fairly certain that was our NSO jam timer there that was doing the hit tap this time instead of the jammers.
Yep, I believe you are correct.
Not only is he fantastic at doing timeouts and flexing for the official reviews, but it turns out he's pretty good at calling off a jam.
He calls it off like a champ. I'm just going to say a huge thanks to all of our NSOs, our referees, the other announcers, our EMS staff, volunteers, everyone. All of it's appreciated. And Marauder picks up lead jam.
Marauder there kind of ran over, I think that was Lurch. They were able to get past and take lead jam. Marauder's going to get chased down and takes that 5-point pickup, as one of the skaters for the Living Dead now is being issued a penalty. And another penalty, I think, being called a directional.
Both jammers, of course, are back. Stella, our sniper, came back from her penalty and immediately series of really solid hits. It was like they weren't happy to see her or something.
No, a little bit of that pent-up frustration, maybe?
Absolutely. It was, I felt bad. And I don't really have feelings, so. That's impressive.
Yeah, there you go. Your name is aptly suited, so.
We've got Gypsy Joe taking the line up against Lil Swift.
Gypsy Joe with some fast footwork there on those toe stops following that outside line. That's going to give lead jam, as I saw somebody kind of do like a pirouette or something on that second corner, as Little Swift was able to get. Little Swift getting 2 penalties. I'm not sure what the first was, but it looks like an insubordination as well. So that's going to be a minute. The Living Dead are out their jammer.
That is not going to be a minute that works for the Living Dead. That's for sure. This is it's going to be a hard blocking minute for them. 126 to 82. Still 16 minutes left in the game. Lots of time.
127 now. They were just awarded a 5th point. Whatever Nuclear Free went in and talked about in that second half seems to have worked, as they've been able to considerably continue their stretch of lead now.
Absolutely. And here we go again with a lead jam picked up by Gypsy Joe for Nuclear Free. That's going to make this officially a power jam.
And a Gypsy Joe is going to go in there and try and get through, and a back block call now on another one of Living Dead's blockers. So Living Dead is slowly shrinking in size out there, as Gypsy Joe is going to try and make another scoring pass. Going to get stuck there by 94, and I can't quite see the number 64. That's Attica Flinch.
Well, I'll tell you, there may not be as many Living Dead blockers out there. They may not have the numbers, but they got some guns.
Attica Flinch with a big hit to the inside as the Living Dead tries to move back and drag that back, but Gypsy Joe notices something, calls that off.
Yeah.
So that's going to allow them that power start now as well.
Absolutely. Again, good strategy overall. Just a thoughtful approach.
Yes, it has been very thoughtful, as Living Dead still at 82, no points scored, of course, on that one as their jammer was in the box. But Nuclear Free's Gypsy Joe racks 14 up for a 141 score now.
And Dame Tamers pushing away at the pack.
And Schmidt-Disturber has been issued a failure to reform penalty after they tried to draw that no pack, and somebody got ran over there.
And it looks like Little Swift heading back to the penalty box.
Little Swift received a back block on that one. Both jammers flying into that penalty box. Remember, a jammer can only serve as much time as that first jammer. So if the first jammer gets there, sits for 3 seconds, the next one gets there in 3 seconds, that's all the time they both serve.
Absolutely, which I think both teams are pretty grateful for right now.
Yeah, as they both kind of went flying into that penalty box. Something to keep in mind as well is you have to go into that penalty box controlled. If you go in there and make a ruckus, cause trouble, that can get a lot of nasty penalties put against you.
Yep, absolutely. The game is, there's a great deal of respect that's built in, and
for those NSOs in the penalty box, they have to be safe as well. You can't just fly in there and take them out.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, it's a contact sport on the rink, not in the chairs. Lil Swift with 5 points. And Dame Tamer through the pack on her initial pass.
Judging by the way it looks, and you might be able to correct me here, but since both of those jammers ended up in the penalty box, I don't think we have a lead jammer. I
think you are correct.
So with no lead jammer, that means it's a full 2-minute jam as it comes to the end. Living Dead, even with all the confusion, the penalties that happened, they're still able to grab 14 points as the Nuclear Free grab 2.
Yeah, it's jams like this that'll change the course of the game, absolutely.
what looked like it was going to go very, very poorly for the Living Dead ends up actually working to their favor as they're able 17 points now. They're at 99.
Yep. And just like that, 99 points. They're almost at that 100-point mark. They're not that far behind. And this is still entirely anyone's game here in the semifinals of Flat Track Fever 2000 and whatever year we are.
And it looks like we have a official review being charged to the nuclear-free boom.
And I always, when I see the official review, I always think OR, and then I immediately lapse into organized rhyme. Tom Green's old rap band. Check the OR. Do you like it so far? I don't know if I've ever heard a human voice sound so much like a trumpet.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you think it's at all because of the Peterson Contracting Beer Garden?
I feel like beer may, in fact, be a part of the equation. There's only one way to know for sure, and that's head on over to the Peterson Consulting Beer Garden. Peterson Consulting, of course, is a multi-trade company. Check them out online at facebook.com/Peterson Contracting or in the beer garden at Beer Garden.
Yes, over in the area with the orange snow fence around it.
Yeah, no hashtags required for that one.
Nope, that one you just got to show them your ID.
Oh man, I'm having so much fun this weekend. This has been great. I have to say, Flat Track Fever, once again, a fantastic event to be a part of. I get to announce games with Fat Boy and all the people I've announced with. It's been so much fun.
We've had some really good announcers this weekend too. It's always fun when you get to come to these tournaments and announce with people that you maybe only get to do 1 or 2 games a year with. So
absolutely. And of course, there's an after party. It's going to be immediately following the event at the King's Head Pub, which is not too terribly far from here.
So we have our ruling on the official review. The blue team was looking for the reversal on an illegal re-entry call, and the official review determined that the jammer was able to enter the pack behind all the other blockers, so therefore it was reversed, and they are able to retain their official review.
Absolutely, and back on the action, we've got Marauder in a power jam. Power jam.
Power jam.
Power jam.
We're going to see what Marauder can make of it. Of course, I just heard another whistle, which generally means another penalty, as the Living Dead are going to lose one of their blockers. Lemon trying to hold back on number 28 Marauder, and Lemon now being issued a failure to reform, an illegal position penalty. So now the Living Dead's going to start back, I think, with their jammer on the track, but no pivot. So they kind of just traded one for the other.
As long as there's at least one thing covering a helmet on each team, then we're good. And we have a new jammer. Lurch is going to be jamming for the Living Dead.
I do believe this is going to be Lurch's first time today.
It is indeed.
And Lurch is going to go up against Gypsy Joe.
Lurch definitely a very, very powerful blocker. Curious to see how that translates into the jam. Gypsy Joe, though, picking up lead jam.
Lurch able to find some room on the inside, gets through for the initial pass as Gypsy Joe goes fast into that pack and makes a quick scoring run, grabs those 5 points and calls that one off. And it looks like the Nuclear Free Boom is going to have lost their pivot as well.
And so we've got Kath Me Outside or we would have, but we have what looks like an official review happening.
I think it's an official timeout as of right now. Yes, it is an official timeout. I can see that thanks to our wonderful jam timer NSO who likes to come to our side of the track so we can see. See, he's even got a smile on.
And he's doing a little bit of dancing. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's definitely, it's been a long weekend. We're all tired and hot, and sometimes exhaustion makes us get our groove on.
Of course, let's say you want a roller disco. I hear that Riddell Skates has some fantastic skates for that.
I've heard that, but maybe you could tell me more.
I think I can. There's this one called the Solaris. It's supposed to be a fantastically acclaimed Riddell skate, the performance you demand, and the comfort that you've been missing.
All right, so Stella, our sniper, jamming for the Living Dead, has the lead jam up against Kathme Outside, this is Kathme Outside's first jam of the game, I believe.
Yes, I do not think we've called her name with the star yet. As Stella's going to try and work through, starts putting those hands to her hips, looking for some points before the final whistle, and that's going to grab 4 for the Living Dead. Of course, we're starting to run down in time. 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining after 17 jams in this second half. 153 for the Nuclear Free Boom, who still have one timeout and retained their official review. And the Living Dead at 103 with 2 timeouts and their official review as well.
It's a 50-point game, which, that's 2 good jams. Can completely change the course of this one. Speaking of good jams, we got some great jammers in there. Marauder is jamming for Nuclear Free. And Marauder picks up lead jam.
Lots of whistles blowing as 4, 3, 2, 1. Malady joins the track and kind of tagged off with Lurch of the other team who went to the penalty box. And then as well, there was another Living Dead blocker sent to the box. Now a blue Boom blocker sent to the penalty box as well.
And we've got Magic Wanda jamming for Evil. 5 points picked up there for the Nuclear Free Boom. No points for Evil.
I was a little busy trying to follow all the penalties there. I'm not quite sure what happened at the end, but we did have another penalty issued now to another Living Dead. So Living Dead are going to start this one very short with only 2 blockers on the track. And
they may be short, but it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. This is the time. They're down by 50 points. This is the time for Living Dead to make some magic happen and really have a commanding jam. We got Gypsy Joe jamming for Nuclear Free, Stella our sniper for the Living Dead.
And it's a short-staffed bout as both of these teams only start with 2 jammers, but now Boom has lost 1 jammer to the box, regained 1, lost another. So Gypsy Joe has lead. Stella is completed her initial 1 jam, 1.
4 points for the Living Dead. No points for the Nuclear Free Boom. Jam called off.
Sounded like there was another penalty issued at the end there as the teams try and figure out who's going to go where. Jamming now, Malady for the Boom with only 2 blockers on the track. And jamming for the Living Dead, that's going to be Charlie Horse with 3 blockers on the track. Malady still able to get out in front, but is issued a cut track and sent to the penalty box.
And that means Charlie Horse is going to have a power jam. This is what the Living Dead need right now, and this is definitely the time where the Nuclear Free Boom are going to try to put the stop.
Charlie Horse knocked to the outside and playing it safe by making sure she goes back and resets behind all the players. Once again knocked out. That's Watson causing a lot of trouble for Charlie Horse right now.
Nuclear Free just tying up Charlie Horse. But Charlie makes it through, picks up 5 points.
And a penalty being issued to the pivot for the Boom, as Charlie Horse is able to get through the pack and grabs another 5 and then calls that one off.
And again, another 5 points picked up for the Living Dead. Chipping away again at that lead. Nuclear Free Boom 158, Living Dead 117, 5.5 minutes to go. And it's interesting, we're seeing, again, just barely any time left in the game, and it still feel like this could go either direction. We've got both teams really working hard, and Eville has pulled in some really important points lately.
Now we are having a timeout being called, and that's going to be charged towards the Nuclear Free Boom. And now I don't know what it feels like to you, Big Ugly Jim, but I'm starting to get the feel that we are seeing a few more penalties now this second half. It seems this last couple of minutes especially, it's just kind of been one in, one out, one in, one out.
Absolutely, it's been almost a steady stream, and I don't know if that's frustration or if it's I don't know. Clearly.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to speculate as to what it is, but I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one seeing that, because it felt like I was calling a lot of penalties in this last little while.
Absolutely. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. It was like a steady flow. It's just penalty, someone comes back, they're back in the penalty box, or someone else is going.
And of course, in case you're not aware, in the sport of roller derby, you're only allowed 7 penalties. After your 7th penalty, you're good on your 6th. On your 7th, that's it. You're ejected. You're done for the game.
Yep.
So, you know, the players always have to be aware of how many they're racking up and start slowing it down when they, you know, start hitting that 4, that 5.
Absolutely. Like the last thing anyone wants right now is to have to sit out.
So we are going to have Lemon, I believe that is, out jamming for the Living Dead, who was able to make a quick lead jam. And for the Boom, that's going to be Malady, now able to complete through their initial pass. Malady with a hit to Lemon, loses her footing as she goes out of bounds. That's going to give Lemon a little bit of a lead now to try and get through and grab some points. Lemon with a big hit to the outside.
That was like guerrilla warfare. Just the path laid out. Oh, that's where I can. Oh, slam.
That was Ramala Anderson, and she just wailed on Lemon right to the inside of that track. So Lemon called that one off. That grabbed Lemon 8 points for the Living Dead. And the Nuclear Free Boom still able to grab 2 from Malady. So that's going to bring the score now Living Dead 125, Nuclear Free Boom 160 with just under 4 minutes remaining.
And we've got Marauder and Charlie Horse. Charlie Horse picks her way through the pack really quickly, grabbing lead jam.
And you had Lurch working there, or sorry, Wonky Kong working there alongside of Lurch, trying to hold back Marauder as the jammer for Living Dead goes into the pack and takes a spill and calls that one off, trying to get the call before the Boom was able to get in there and grab the points.
Living Dead grabbed 3 though. You know, same concept, that it's better to get 3 points and call it off than get 4 points and have your enemy get 2.
Surprising how many jams you can fit into 3 minutes when you're just doing the quick hit it and quit it, grab a couple points. So Stella now for the Living Dead, Gypsy Joe for the Boom, who's going to take some outside room and grab that lead jam. Directional block violation now to number 8-2, Rocky Balboa, as Gypsy Joe is going to make it through that pack, grabbing 5, lapping the white jammer.
And again, Gypsy Joe picking up 5 points.
And just to make matters worse, it looks like Stella has been issued an illegal procedure call So that is going to allow the Nuclear Free Boom a power jam now as Gypsy Joe grabs another 5, bringing her total on this jam so far to 15.
And Evil also down some blockers. This is not the position that they want to be in right now.
An illegal contact charge to Rocky Balboa trying to stop Gypsy Joe, who's still able to get out there and grab those 5. Living Dead now down to only 2 blockers on the track and no jammers still. Gypsy Joe able to get past those 2 blockers, racks up the other 5 points. Living Dead now back to 3 blockers.
And with 1.5 minutes left in the game, this is when everything is on the line. You can hear our beer garden getting all kinds of excited.
Nuclear Boom couldn't have asked for a much better predicament in that situation as Gypsy Joe was able to grab 29 points, pulling their score now to 189, Living Dead at 128.
Absolutely, that was the thing that the Nuclear Free Boom needed at that particular moment, was just to stretch that lead.
And it looks like it's an official timeout.
And once again, reminder, Buffalo Wild Wings, all ages sports bar. They're 1 block west and 1 block south on McLeod Trail. If you mention Team D, they help support Junior Roller Derby.
What a fantastic way
Absolutely.
to fundraise.
Absolutely, and it's, you know what, I've really enjoyed that. We had some good Junior Roller Derby this weekend.
We did. We've had some really fun games. And, you know, while we are on the topic, can I just say first off that our segues today have been phenomenal.
We segue like champions.
Oh, it is wonderful. And to go back to the segue we were on, talking about supporting Junior Roller Derby, if you want to learn more, the Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby is here today, and they promote a safe, a cooperative, and a wholesome fun and entertainment for the whole family. They're set up at the back so you can go check them out. I do believe they were selling merch as well, so maybe you want to get a nice t-shirt, or maybe I don't know what else t-shirts, more t-shirts, another t-shirt.
You could get several t-shirts.
Yes, but if you want to get merch, the point is go check out their booth, see what they've got, maybe go home with a souvenir.
And while you're shopping for clothes, you know, maybe it's Leggings Day.
Oh, Leggings
Head on
Day.
down. Leggings Day, head on down to Chantel Boers there with all those amazing leggings. I don't know if I got the legs for it, but I want to find out.
You know what? If you find out, I don't want to know.
That's why there's an internet.
Now back on the track, Marauder jamming for the Boom as it is a power start. The Living Dead still do not have a jammer on the track. And Marauder's going to be able to get through before Stella's back on the track. So that'll give lead jam as Stella fights through that second corner. Gets a little bit of a bump by one of those blue blockers and is now able to complete the initial pass. And that jam's going to get called before Stella can catch up and grab any points. So 4 more for Nuclear Free Boom. Living Dead still at 128. And a timeout being charged towards the Living Dead. So with that, now we're coming down to the final seconds. There's 19 seconds on the score clock with that timeout charged.
I feel like, you know, the way this game has gone, 19 seconds has got to be what, 30 jams?
Yeah, it's a few, especially if they just go at it. And of course, the Living Dead at 128, Nuclear Free Boom 193, 24 jams in this second half. You know, that seems to be the number we've sat pretty close to all weekend, right around that, 20 to 28 seems to be that happy area.
Yep, definitely. We're seeing, 24 to 28 jams. It keeps, I think, getting higher and higher every year as we see the style change and a lot of those hit it and quit it jams.
And I just want to point out, too, that I can't do 25 jam. I can't do 1 jam. Like, it's very impressive to know what these people are going through. Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic conditioning.
So now both teams have jammers on the track. 79, Kathme outside, jamming for the boom. And jamming for the Living Dead. That looks like it could be Lemon. Lemon knocked to the inside, going to be forced back, and that's going to allow Kathme outside to take that lead jam.
And Kathme outside calls off the jam. That's our final jam of the game. Our unofficial final score, Nuclear Free Boom 193, the Evil Roller Derby Living Dead 128.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my favorite parts of roller derby. Now, if you are a fan, if you want to say good job, congratulations, give a high five to your favorite derby player, line the track now as they will go around and take your accolades. Of course, a big thank you to all our sponsors once again: Peterson Contracting, Nerd Roller Skates, Rydell Skates, the Girls on Track Foundation, all of our vendors. It's been an amazing weekend. That was an awesome third and fourth game. That was really good.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be a part of these events, and that was a fantastic game. If you stick around, we've got our final first and second place match coming up next. Our official final score then is 193 to 128 in favor of the Nuclear Free Boom.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. My name is Fat Boy. It has been great to call this for you. I've had a wonderful weekend. I hope you have too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fat Boy, and I'm Big Ugly Jim.